Okay, are y'all all hearing me? Can you all hear? Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Anita, and I am the artist, the designer behind My Kind of Thing. I am a handmade artist. I create dolls, and I am so excited to be here with you all to teach you about Kwanzaa. um, so I hope that you all are really excited. You have your supplies and everything, and you're ready. So, who here knows what Kwanzaa is? Um, do you know what Kwanzaa is and what it means and what it means for us? Take a second, think about it. Kwanzaa is a celebration of life, particularly for Black and Brown people, Africans and African American, African people across all continents. And there are 7 amazing principles that kind of give us an idea or a template as to how we should live amongst one another and create and work with each other across the globe. So, if you all are ready, we have our supplies, right? So, you should definitely have your crayons. I have my special crayons. These are my really cool crayons that I love. Hold on, experience a little bit of technical difficulty. Can you all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Um, give me a sign. Okay. I'm really, really bad with technology, so y'all have to be a little bit patient with me. Did you all hear the introduction? Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, so I'm so happy to be here. So if you registered, then you should be more than ready. All you need is the printout, and we have the printout of our girls, right? And I'll share with you their names and everything in a second. And then you should also have your African print. And these are the things that we'll be coloring to create a really cool piece of art. You should also have a little bit of glue. Got my glue stick. So that's exciting. And so I'm ready to teach you a little bit, just an overview of Kwanzaa. So it was very, very important and is very important for us to, um, it is very important for us to learn about these 7 principles of Kwanzaa. There are 7 of them. The first one is umoja. Umoja is a Swahili word. The 7 principles are Swahili words. Swahili is an African language. Umoja, which means unity, that is the first principle. And that's the first day of Kwanzaa that comes on the 26th of December to the 1st of January. So for 7 days, we celebrate Kwanzaa. The first day being the 26th of December, which is Umoja, which means unity. The second day, which is the 27th, is Kujichagulia, which is which means self-determination. That's one of my favorites. Then you have Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. And then you have Ujama, which means cooperative economics. You have Nia, that's the 5th principle, that means purpose. You have Kuumba, that's the 6th principle, and that means creativity. That's another one of my favorites. And lastly, the last day, which ends Kwanzaa on the 1st of January, is Imani, which means faith, right? So let us get started, right? And as we color and create together, I just want to share with you some of these principles and why they are super, super important for us to just keep in mind as we work and we create and we live, right? So the first principle, of course, is umoja, which means unity, right? And we all know what unity means, right? I'm going to get my More Than Peach Project crayons. I absolutely love these. I have these really cool crayons that come in all the different skin colors that we are. And so this is what I had planned to use to color for. As you can see, I kind of got started. I couldn't quite couldn't quite wait. And I think I'm gonna pick a color that's close to my skin color. Let's see. I'm gonna pick Sahara. That's a really cool shade of brown. And so, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. So at the end of this workshop, we are going to have a session where we share. So if you're working and listening, which should be fun, right? Be ready so that you can share your work and what you create with the rest of us. And if you have any questions or anything in the that you want to ask or anything that you want to share, you can enter that into the chat. So umoja, which means unity, right? And think about the word unity and what it means to you, right? To me, unity means, sticking together, right? Uniting, being together, right? And it's a really, really great word. It's a really great thing to kind of practice with one another, right? Being united or together, right? Because it makes it easier for us to help each other and support each other, right? So I am practicing umoja right now because there is a little brown girl that created these beautiful crayons. And I absolutely love that she did this for us because her point and her purpose, her, again, another principle, her reasoning purpose, right? That's the fifth principle, which is Nia, which means purpose. Um, Her reason for creating these crayons was because when she wanted to color skin colors in her artwork, a lot of times people use the color peach for skin colors, right? And that's not the only color that skin comes in, right? So her purpose for creating these crayons was to show how beautifully diverse we are, right? So I love, love, love all the pretty colors that she made to represent skin tone, right? And so here's the thing. Each one of these girls, I call them my Kwanzaa sisters, right? And they were each kind of named after Kwanzaa principle, right? So her name is Nia, which means purpose, right? That is the fifth principle of Kwanzaa, right? But she represents Kujichagulia, which is self-determination. So that's the second principle, right? Kujichagulia, meaning self-determination, is also one of my favorite Kwanzaa principles because think about all the things that you kind of have that challenge yourself to do and create, right? Or to be, right? I think that having self-determination is super important when we talk about, just being great and doing amazing things, right? You need self-determination because sometimes it's hard to do things, right? So you have to have self-determination. That is Kuji Chagulia. Can you say it? Say it out loud where you are. I know I can't hear you yet, but when you hear it, just say it so that you kind of can remember these words because they're really, really good words and they're important, especially for the celebration of Kwanzaa, right? And so this girl here, her name is Nia, but she represents two Kwanzaa principles: self-determination and purpose, right? And so this girl right here that I was coloring, her name is Kenya, but she represents another one of my favorite Kwanzaa principles, which is Kuumba. That is principle number 6. It means creativity. Kuumba. Can you say that? Kuumba. It means creativity. I think of all the ways in which we are creative, all the ways in which we create all kinds of things. For example, we're creating art right now, right? And so I love the idea of having her playing the drums because it takes a special kind of creativity, right? To play the drums. And so oftentimes we create music and we create sounds. We create so many different things, right? And so creativity is a very, very important component of our um, our culture, right? Um, and so this girl right here, I know that maybe some of you know somebody named Imani, right? I have a few friends named Imani. Imani is the 7th and last principle of Kwanzaa. Can you say Imani? Imani means faith, right? So having faith is super, super important. Super, super important, right? You kind of have to have faith in order to do certain things. You have to believe in yourself and who you are, right? In order to achieve and accomplish certain things, right? So we just want to make sure that we believe in ourselves and we believe in each other. And so with that being said, right? Um, we can go through all of the not so obvious principles, right? So when you think of Ujima, right? Ujima, can you say Ujima? Collective work and responsibility, meaning together, um, collectively, together, we work together, helping each other out. Again, it's a more intense form of unity, right? Just making sure that we're supporting each other and working together, right? And that leads us to the third principle, Ujima, right? Which is cooperative economics, right? Cooperative economics. That is Ujima. Ujama, sorry, Ujama, cooperative economics, right? That is the fourth principle, Ujama. Cooperative economics, basically meaning that we're sharing and working with each other on a level of business and and sharing ideas and working communally as a community. One of the things that I think about, the best way for me to explain or describe that, right, is I am a doll maker, right? And I love creating dolls with my hands, right? Um, I know an artist who is an amazing artist. She is the person who created these illustrations for me. So I am a doll maker, right? Which is one kind of artist. And she is an illustrator, a different kind of artist. And what we did was we put our minds together and I was like, okay, so I would love it if you could turn my dolls into illustrations. And I would send her these really, really great pictures of my dolls. And what she did was she turned them into beautiful, colorful illustrations, right? And so it went from a doll that I created to illustrations that she created for me. And she also created these awesome coloring pages, right? And so I have her hair colored and I have her skin colored, and we have these really beautiful prints that we also are going to color, right? And I'm just going to do them really quickly. But if you have any questions in the chat section, feel free, right, to share or ask any questions or comments while you work. I absolutely love, love, love creating and using my hands. Um, Again, cooperative economics, the fourth principle, Ujama of Kwanzaa, you know, prompts us or encourages us to work with each other in business, right? And so I thought it was really, really cool for um, my friend, the illustrator, to create these beautiful, beautiful illustrations. She does amazing work, not just for me, but she also does a really great job of showing how cool and how proud we are. Um, so let me just see. Um, there we go. So somebody asks, I was wondering if you don't mind with me asking why that one thinks it cannot be done. This cannot be done kindly. Okay, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I am going to come to these comments and questions at the end. Um, but some of these questions are big questions. Um, just want to keep in mind, right, that this is mainly just an introduction of Kwanzaa and how it is important for us to celebrate. Now, here's the thing: Kwanzaa again was created um, as a way for us, Black and Brown people, particularly of African descent, to celebrate worldwide together. Um, it is a way for us um, to incorporate unity and togetherness, even though we're spread all across the globe, right? And so these are things that I want you to kind of think about on a daily basis, right? What are some of the things that you can do that would kind of also push this idea of unity and cooperation, cooperative economics, and faith and creativity and purpose. Again, what are some of the things that you do with purpose? In my mind, right, because I used to teach early childhood and junior high school, right? And one of the things I used to always ask is, what is the best thing about you? Right? So these are questions that you kind of think about, right? What are some of the best things about you, right? And how are these things about you um, good for other people? You know, are there things about you that you do that help other people or that make other people also feel good? Makes you feel good about who you are, and it also helps other people feel good about who they are, right? I think about my purpose and the reason why I create and why it's important for me to create, right? And and thinking about Kwanzaa and the seven principles, one of the things I try to do is there are seven principles, right? So that means there's a principle for every day of the week, right? And so what I do is I try to maintain or try to make sure that on a daily basis, I do one of the principles of Kwanzaa, whether it is to be helpful to somebody else, whether it is to create or work with extreme purpose or intense purpose, right? I think about those things that I feel like it's important for me uh, to do because it not only helps me, it helps other people, right? And I also think about the things that I use, the places that I spend my time, and my money, right? So thinking of cooperative economics, thinking of, uh, just those things that are important to us being more proud of who we are and knowing a little bit more about our history. And so that we can do a better job of sharing who we are with each other, right? So think about those things, right? And one of the things that I also do is, like I said, I have a favorite of everything, right? And I have favorite principles of Kwanzaa. And the reason why they are classified as my favorite is because they're easier for me to do every day, right? So one of the principles that I love because it's easy for me to do every day. And so I give myself points every time I do it, right? One of those principles is kuumba. That is the sixth principle of Kwanzaa. It means creativity. And I love, love, love being creative. I don't know if you can tell, but I absolutely love creating and being creative. I love making things with my hands. Um, and I love being able to share what I do with other people, right? So if you are here in this workshop, then that means that you are being creative right now. If you have your supplies and you are coloring along with me, then that means that you are being creative right now. So check that off your list. You are being creative, and that is the sixth principle of Kwanzaa, right? The other one that I mentioned earlier was Kujichagulia, which is the second principle. One, I love the word, I love the way it sounds, and I love, love, love what it means, right? Um, so uh, I really, really enjoy doing things that require a little bit more, they require a little bit more work and a little bit more effort. But I have found that the things that require the most effort are usually the things that have the best outcome, right? And so Kuji Chagulia, which is the second principle of Kwanzaa, it means self-determination. That is my second favorite principle. Um, Nia is another one that's easy to remember. You might have a friend or know somebody whose name is Nia. If you don't, that's okay. But Nia, Nia, it's real short and real easy. And it means purpose, right? And I think that's another good one to think about because you kind of want to do everything with a bit of purpose, right? You don't want to just do any old thing. You don't just want to be any old thing, right? Who are you? And what makes you special, right? As a creative person, as a doll maker, as a designer, it's very, very important for me to do things with purpose, right? It's super, super important for me to create with purpose. Um, my purpose as a doll maker is to promote pride and confidence in children of color, particularly girls, and even more specifically, Black girls, in efforts to combat self hate. What that means is my goal and my reason, my purpose for creating, um, my purpose for creating is to show us, show little girls, little Black girls, how beautiful we are by creating dolls that show all the different ways in which we are beautiful, the ways in which you are beautiful. That's important, right? You got to know. So that is my purpose as a designer. That is my purpose as a Black woman, right? So here's the thing. This is the fun part. Before I move on to the next phase of this. Let me just run down to you, see if you can remember the 7 principles. The first one is umoja, which means unity. The second one is kujichagulia, which is self-determination. The third principle is ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. The fourth one is ujama, which means cooperative economics. The fifth one is nia, which means purpose. And the sixth one is kuumba, which means creativity. And the seventh one is imani, which means faith. So think about that, right? Because I do have a question that I want to ask at the end of this. And I want to see if you've been listening and if you've been paying attention, because I hope that you will be able to remember at least one principle, right? So think about the principles, right? Which one you like best, right? Which one you think you have done. So think about those principles and which one makes the most sense to you. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to create her skirt with this pattern. The way that I'm going to do it is I have it kind of cut out the shape already, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the back here, and I'm going to trace it with one of my special crayons. Just gonna trace it. Doesn't have to be special. We're gonna trace, because I colored a good portion of her. Hold on, don't move it. Supposed to trace it and not move it, so gotta be a little careful, right? And that's where her little hand is cut out. And so now that I have this shape, it's a basic shape of her dress, right? I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut this shape out. I know it looks a little funny, but I promise you it does work, right? So the reason why I put it there like that is because when I cut it out, it should fit nicely right on top of her skirt. So are you thinking about the principle that means a lot to you? And which one do you think that you have practiced recently? I can tell you right now that everybody who's participating will have practiced at least one, right? Which one are we practicing right now? Do you remember the name of it? If you said kuumba, then you are totally correct. We are being very creative right now. You're being creative because you picked up your crayon color that you wanted to use, and you got to look at that. So it goes right there. Isn't that nice? I think that looks really good. What do you think? Right? And since it fits there so nicely, and I probably should have colored more, I'm gonna color some more. I'm gonna get my glue stick, and I'm gonna get a little bit of glue on that. Just a little bit of glue. Let me put it here. We're gonna get a little bit of glue, and we're gonna position it really nicely right in the space where it goes, kind of like a puzzle piece, right? So we'll put it there like that. Very nice. No worries if you can't share. You can share it at any time by going on um, uh, let me just make sure I have the right. If you are on Instagram and Twitter or any of those social media apps, you can share at HB Gant Center. Um, and you can definitely check out, what other people have done and shared when this video ends. Um, and it's everywhere at gantcenter.org. So everywhere it's HB Gant Center. So what do you think? We have one skirt done. Do you think we have time for another skirt or another pattern? This is a really big one. But what do you think? 7 principles, right? 7 principles. Like I said, we have unity, that is umoja, right? We have kujichagulia, and I just like saying that word. What do you think? Kujichagulia, which means self-determination. Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility, right? Ujama, which means cooperative economics. We have Nia, which means purpose, right? We have Kuumba, which means creativity. And we have Imani, which means faith, right? So think about those words and what they mean and which one means a great deal to you, right? They're all important, right? But there are some that stand out a little bit more. Kuumba is creativity, and Kuumba is one of the principles. It's the principle that you are practicing right now, right? So think about that. I'm just going to make this whole one red right here, and because I like patterns to be consistent, I'm going to color that whole one red right there, and I guess maybe this one too. And so, what do you think of the 7 principles? The question that I want you to be able to answer at the end of this workshop is, why do you think Kwanzaa is important, or why is Kwanzaa important for us to celebrate? Why is it important for us to celebrate these things? Why is it important for us to celebrate each other? And why is it important for us to practice the 7 principles of Kwanzaa? Right? I think they're pretty good things to just live by, right? We want to work together and we want to be united as we create and we do amazing things. We want to share our knowledge with one another and our history, because we have so much to be proud of, right? And so it's just important for us to make sure that we know these things about ourselves and about each other, and that we share them with each other, because sometimes, it's hard, right? And so it's very, very important that we remember some things, because it's easy to forget. We are special and we are connected because we come from this continent that is, it's so big. And although some of us may have never visited, it is where our ancestors come from, right? And it's a huge continent. And Kwanzaa is one of the ways in which we celebrate across the continent, right? And I think so the easiest part, right, is for us to keep these 7 principles in mind, right? We want to keep these ideas, these thoughts, this understanding in mind as we do the things that we do amongst ourselves and with each other, because it helps us to stay connected. It helps to unify us, right? And so I love the idea of being able to share these thoughts and things with all of us together. I think it's important that we know these things about who we are, And it helps us to understand each other even better, because sometimes we forget, right? So, like I said, my favorite is Kuumba, Kuji Chagulia, and I love Nia. Those are the principles that are easiest for me to follow. And so that's why they stand out in my mind, right? The other principles takes a little bit more effort, right? If I'm going to just be honest, it takes a little bit more effort. It's a little bit harder, but to know them gives us the mindset that we can do it, right? So I can definitely participate in cooperative economics, right? It's a little bit harder, but it is totally possible and doable. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to share with you my special crayons. These crayons are super special to me. I pulled them out just for this thing today because they were created by a little Black girl, and she just felt like it was super important for us to have more than just peach as a color to represent our skin tones, right? Our skin colors, right? So I absolutely love that I could find my skin color in these crayons, right? And depending on what time of year it is, you know, the skin color changes. But today I think I'm Sahara, right? I think Sahara is more my color, right? But she has a huge range of colors, and I feel so special knowing that I could find me in this pile of crayons. So if I drew a picture of myself, I can totally use those crayons to draw me the right way. I get my skin color, I get my hair color. And so, what is your favorite Kwanzaa principle, right? What do you think is the one that you are going to, when this workshop ends, which one do you think that you're going to practice? Which one do you think that you're going to want to put into practice, right? I'm thinking it'd be super duper fun if you try to practice like 3 principles, right? Just immediately. Which ones do you think that you can do really quick? Boom. I'm participating and practicing, right? So think about that. And just really quickly, one last time so that you'll remember, right? And again, I want you that when this is done, just 2 questions, right? I hope that you will know what Kwanzaa is, right? So that you can maybe tell your friends, share it with other people, right? I want you to know what Kwanzaa is, and I want you to know why it is important for us to celebrate Kwanzaa, right? And I told you why I think it's important. I think it's important for us to share and to celebrate Kwanzaa. It reminds us to work together. It reminds us that we are connected, right? As Black people across the country, across the world. Kwanzaa is a way for us to remind each other that we are here and we are doing amazing things, right? And these amazing things that we're doing affect us positively, whether we're close to each other or all the way on the other side of the globe, right? So that's what's super important for us to remember and think about when we're celebrating Kwanzaa. And what I do is, like I said, I take a day, right? And each day of the week has a Kwanzaa principle assigned to it, right? So Monday would be Umoja, which is unity, right? Tuesday would be Puji Chagulia, which is self-determination. And I got to tell you, Tuesdays are a little bit hard, right? Everybody says Mondays are hard, but Tuesday definitely takes a little bit of self-determination, right? And then Wednesday is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility, right? And Wednesday is one of the hardest days of the week for most people, right? And so it requires a extra effort as well, right? And applying that particular principle, collective work and responsibility, right? And then Ujama, cooperative economics. Um, definitely another one that requires a little bit more point and purpose, right? Um, and speaking of purpose, uh, Thursday, which would be, well, actually, we're on Friday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is cooperative economics, Ujama. Uh, oh, nice. So I see some of your comments. That's dope. That's one of my favorites too. Creativity, kuumba. But Friday is Nia, purpose. Saturday is kuumba, creativity. And how about that, right? Saturday, that's usually the day where we're kind of free to be creative and do whatever we want to do. So that's why creativity would be definitely Saturday. And then Imani, which means faith. And faith, I've given it to Sunday because Sunday is usually when people slow down, they rest. Some of us go to church and worship, and it requires faith for us to continue and press on sometimes because, like I said, sometimes it's hard, sometimes we forget, and so Sunday or Imani, we have to have faith in order to get through and to keep pushing and to go further. And so, I think about the days of the week and the days that we can assign to each or the principles that we can assign. So, um, let me take this moment to let you all know we have 5 minutes until the showcase, right? So, if you've been working with me, I hope you have been, right? If you've been working with me, we have the showcase opportunity. So get ready if you want to showcase what you've done or what you've created, right, with everybody else. It's in 5 minutes we're gonna showcase that. So I'm just going to outline this last skirt, right, and cut this out and see if we can put it on Imani because that's whose skirt this is. This is Imani's skirt. Right? So we have it traced out. And like I said, I absolutely love these crayons because I totally see my sisters and my cousins and my nieces, their skin color. So I'm gonna use this as my guide to cut out the shape that I need for Imani's skirt. That's Imani right there. So are you ready? Have you colored? Have you made them really, really cool and colorful and created your perfect masterpiece? I'm usually very, very tedious about coloring. I love to use markers and crayons and color pencils all at once. But I didn't want to do a whole bunch. Okay, how about that? That's really nice. Let's see. Let's see if it fits really nicely over her. There we go. Nice. Okay, I think we did it. We did it, right? Gonna get my glue. And so when you're ready to showcase your work of art, you can let us know and you'll be able to share that. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. So 2 more minutes. So get your last components of coloring, and I'm gonna get a few more coloring aspects with my cool color pencils to catch the things that I missed, right? I didn't color this part, right? And these are the color pencils that I like to use. Um, Another really cool creative individual that thought it would be really dope to name and create her own colors. So in this way, I am participating in cooperative economics by buying from people who are also Black and brown people, right? So that's one of the great ways that you can use Ujama. That is the fourth principle of Kwanzaa, cooperative economics. You know, finding people who have services or products that you love that are also like Black owned, right? So if you find that there is a company that creates really cool art supplies like I have, um, I participated in cooperative economics by supporting and buying from that particular artist. I really love this blue, by the way. It's a really cool blue. Um, but are you ready to share your masterpieces? Are you going to be brave? Here's a thing though. When you share your masterpiece, I'm going to need you to make sure that you also share a Kwanzaa principle. So you tell me your favorite Kwanzaa principle and show me what you created. Are you ready? And don't forget to visit the Gantt Center's museum store to support local artists and vendors. So if you are in the Charlotte area of North Carolina, make sure you check out the Gantt Center Museum store when you go to the Gantt Center. Um, there's loads and loads of cool things there for you to buy and to see and support um, awesome artists. Are y'all ready? So I think we are ready to see some of the work that you've all done. Nobody's volunteering? Uh-oh. We don't have any volunteers to share. Who wants to share? How about this? Even if you didn't finish, right? Let's see some of what you've done. Let's see what you've done so far. Anybody want to share? Right? Now, here's the thing. If we don't have anybody that volunteers to share, you know what we could do? Do we have any people that want to volunteer to share their thoughts about Kwanzaa and the seven principles, or at least share which one is your favorite principle and why, maybe? Anybody there want to do that? If you're being shy about your artwork, that's something that we can also do that doesn't require you to show, your work. Oh, I see somebody says yes. Daphne Smith wants to share. So that would be great. Oh, awesome. Hi. Hold on, you're not we have to unmute her. Oh, you did such a great job. Wow, I love your use of blue because blue is my favorite color. You did a great job. Are you able to tell us what your favorite Kwanzaa principle is? Um, I can't hear. Is she muted? It says you're unmuted. I'm not able to hear. Kuumba? Oh, okay. She doesn't have a mic. Okay. So I read your lips. She says Kuumba is her favorite principle. And I can tell because you were very creative with your artwork right there.
is underway. Are you ever a little worried when you knock on somebody's door? You have to start the video.
Okay. Someone has a question. Tips on when you put a pause on artwork, when you are making a doll, or when you come back to. Okay. The question is, do you have any tips on when you put a pause for artwork, and or when you're making a doll, and or when you come back to an art piece? Okay, so I don't know. That sounds like you're asking how I work. So I think sometimes I work on a lot of things at once, multiple things at once. And so sometimes I take a break. Other times I'm not able to. So I just kind of work through. Usually I'm super excited about creating. So I definitely just kind of power through. All right. Who's this? Dr. Layla? What's your name? Oh, very nice. I love the brown that you use for Nia's skin. And I love her pink skirt. That's very nice. You did a great job. What's your favorite Kwanzaa principle? Are you going to share it with us?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Okay, that's fine. But I love what you did as far as coloring. You did a great job. Thank you.
My name's Jeremiah.
Jeremiah?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for participating, Jeremiah. You did a really great job coloring them. Who else wants to share? Who's this? This is Daphne Smith. And I know this is not Daphne. Hi, what's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan. Oh, you did were you drawing the girl over?
Yeah, I had to draw it because we could get the print thing.
Oh, that's okay. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite Kwanzaa principle?
Being creative.
Oh, you love being creative. So Kuumba, can you say Kuumba?
Kuumba.
That means creativity. Really good job. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
We have one more. If we have one more person that wants to share. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Kenzie.
What's your name again?
Say Kitsy.
Kenzie.
Oh, hi, Kitsy. Oh, I love it. I love how you pasted that pattern on there. Oh, it looks really good. Do you have a favorite?
I use feathers.
You use feathers? Oh, that's really creative. You did a really good job.
Say
Do you like
creativity. How you say that word? Say
Kuumba.
Kuumba? Very nice. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Bye. That is so great. You all did a really great job. I appreciate you all for participating. And it just really means a lot to be able to share some of these things with you, some of these ideas and thoughts and principles. Kwanzaa is super, super important for us all, right? This is how we connect across the globe. Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope that you continue to support art and artists. You can definitely see more amazing art by the amazing artists that contribute to the Harvey B. Gantt Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're in town or if you're nearby, make sure you stop by. And if you would love to share more of your work, for those of you who maybe didn't get a chance to share, we're sorry we missed you, but you can totally post and share what you did on social media. And you can tag HB Gantt Center on all those social media platforms, and check out more workshops and more things by the Harvey B. Gantt Center. You can just look up or Google ganttcenter.org. And so that would be really, really awesome if you could just share what you did here and check out other people. So definitely share and check out what other people have done today. Thank y'all so much for participating.